You spend 8 hours every single night completely unconscious. 8 hours where your logical mind shuts down and your subconscious takes over. And here is the terrifying truth. During those 8 hours, your deepest beliefs are running the show. Every fear, every doubt, every limiting thought you have ever absorbed is playing on repeat like a broken record. Your sleep is programming you, whether you like it or not. The question is not whether your subconscious is being programmed while you sleep. It absolutely is. The question is, who is doing the programming? Is it the stress from your day, the news you watched before bed, the argument you replayed in your mind? Or is it you, deliberately and intentionally planting the seeds of the life you actually want? As Neville Goddard once taught, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Tonight, you have a choice. And what I am about to share with you could completely transform what happens when you close your eyes. Sleep window. There is a moment every night that most people completely waste. Scientists call it the hypnagogic state, that drowsy space between waking and sleeping where your brain shifts from beta waves to alpha and then theta waves. This is not some mystical concept. This is neuroscience. During this window, your critical faculty, that logical gatekeeper that rejects new beliefs, basically falls asleep before you do. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how your mind wanders in strange directions right before sleep? How random thoughts seem more vivid, more real? That is not an accident. Your mind is open. In that state, suggestions bypass your conscious resistance and go straight into your subconscious programming. This is exactly why what you think about in those final moments before sleep matters so much. As the psychologist William James observed, the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Most people fill this precious window with worry, with replaying problems, with scrolling through their phones. They are programming themselves for more of the same. But what if you use this window intentionally? Why? Here is something that will change how you think about sleep forever. Your subconscious mind does not sleep. While your conscious mind shuts down to rest and recover, your subconscious remains fully active. It processes, it consolidates, it integrates. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that sleep is when your brain processes emotional experiences and consolidates memories. But here is what they do not often tell you. It also consolidates beliefs. Whatever emotional state you fall asleep in becomes the soil in which your subconscious plants seeds overnight. Never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious. Edison knew this. He used to hold steel balls while falling asleep, capturing ideas from that twilight state. Think about your typical night. You probably fall asleep stressed about tomorrow, anxious about money, or frustrated about something that happened. And then you wonder why you wake up feeling heavy, why the same problems keep showing up. Your nights are reinforcing your days. Break the cycle tonight. But what if you could flip this? What if your nights could start creating your days instead? Feeling. This is where most people get manifestation completely wrong. They think it is about repeating words, saying affirmations over and over like some magical incantation. But your subconscious does not respond to words. It responds to feelings. You can say I am wealthy 1,000 times, but if you feel broke while saying it, guess which message gets programmed? The feeling wins every time. Dr. Joe Dispenza has spent decades studying how emotions literally change our biology. When you feel an emotion, your body releases peptides that communicate with your cells. Your body is your unconscious mind, so the overnight technique is not about what you say. It is about what you feel as you fall asleep. Feel it now. Can you feel grateful before you have the thing? Can you feel peaceful before the situation resolves? Can you feel abundant before the money arrives? This is the skill most people never develop. They wait to feel good until they get what they want. But manifestation works in reverse. You have to feel it first. And the sleep state is the perfect time to practice this because your logical mind is not there to argue. Last, let me give you the exact technique. It is simpler than you think, but do not let that simplicity fool you. The last 5 minutes before you fall asleep are the most important 5 minutes of your entire day. Not your morning routine, not your productivity hacks. These 5 minutes, here is why. When you are drowsy, your subconscious is essentially saying, show me what you want me to work on tonight. Most people show it their fears, their worries, their problems. Instead, you are going to show it your desired reality. 5 minutes to transform. As you feel yourself getting sleepy, create a scene in your mind. Not a movie you are watching, but a scene you are inside of. A scene that would only happen if your wish was already fulfilled. Maybe it is a conversation, someone congratulating you. Maybe it is looking at your bank account. Maybe it is waking up in a different home. The key is first-person perspective and present-tense feeling. Assume the wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. You are not wishing. You are remembering something that already happened. Feel it as done. Loop technique. Now here is what makes this powerful. You do not just play the scene once. You loop it over and over until you fall asleep. Each time you play it, try to feel it more deeply. Add more sensory details. What do you hear? What do you touch? What is the temperature? The more real it feels, the more your subconscious accepts it as an actual memory. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Studies in neuroscience have proven this. When you imagine throwing a basketball, the same motor neurons fire as when you actually throw it. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Loop until you sleep. Athletes use this for performance, but you can use it for anything. The looping creates a groove in your subconscious, a new neural pathway. And when you fall asleep mid-loop, your subconscious continues processing that scene all night long. You are essentially giving your subconscious a project to work on while you sleep. Most people give their subconscious their problems. You are going to give it your solutions. But there is something that can block this entire process. Belief blocker. Here is the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. You can do this technique perfectly every single night and still block your manifestation. How? Through contradicting beliefs during the day. Imagine planting seeds at night and then pouring poison on them all day long. That is what most people do. They do their sleep technique, feel great for a moment, and then wake up and immediately start thinking thoughts of lack, doubt, and fear. Doubt destroys everything. The way you think during the day matters. If you spend all day believing you cannot have what you want, those 5 minutes at night cannot overcome 16 hours of contradicting beliefs. As the Buddha taught, what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. This is not about being positive every second. That is exhausting and fake. It is about catching yourself in spiral thoughts and gently redirecting. It is about not arguing for your limitations. It is about stopping the habit of mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Your daytime thoughts are either watering your nighttime seeds or drowning them. But here is what most people miss about this. Morning bridge. The first few minutes after you wake up are almost as important as the last few before sleep. This is another hypnagogic window. Another moment when your subconscious is accessible. And what do most people do? They immediately grab their phone. They check emails. They read news designed to trigger fear and stress. They shatter the bridge between their nighttime programming and their daytime reality. How you start your day determines how you live your day. Instead, try this. When you first wake up, before you open your eyes fully, before you move, lie there for just 2 minutes. Recall the scene you fell asleep with. Feel those feelings again. Bridge your sleep today. This creates continuity. It tells your subconscious that yes, this is still what we are focusing on. This is still the reality we are creating. Think of it like bookends. The night plants the seed. The morning waters it. And throughout the day, you protect it from weeds. This creates a continuous loop of reinforcement that most people never establish. And speaking of what most people never do, gratitude. There is one emotion that amplifies everything in manifestation. Gratitude. Not the surface level thanks I say before meals. Deep, cellular gratitude that you feel in your chest. Here is why it works so powerfully with the sleep technique. Gratitude is the frequency of having. When you feel truly grateful, you are signaling to your subconscious and to the universe that you already have something. You cannot feel genuine gratitude for something you lack. Gratitude equals having. So before you do your visualization at night, spend 1 minute feeling grateful for things you already have. The bed you are lying in, the breath in your lungs, anyone who loves you. This shifts your entire frequency from wanting to having. And from that state, when you visualize your desire, you are not reaching for something. You are simply adding to what already exists. Gratitude is the open door to abundance. Many people visualize from a state of desperation, of need, of please give me this because I do not have it. That frequency repels what you want. Gratitude magnetizes it. This one shift can change everything. Time lag truth. Now I need to be honest with you about something. This is not magic. There is a time lag between programming and manifestation. Some things show up quickly, others take longer, and most people quit right before the breakthrough. They do the technique for a week, do not see instant results, and decide it does not work. But that is like planting a seed and digging it up every day to see if it has grown yet. You would kill the plant. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. The subconscious works in its own time. It is rearranging circumstances, shifting probabilities, creating synchronicities that you cannot see yet. Your job is not to figure out the how. Your job is to stay in the feeling state and trust the process. Trust the process. The universe does not operate on your timeline, but here is what I have noticed. The more you release attachment to when it happens, the faster it seems to happen. Desperation slows things down. Relaxed trust speeds things up. Let your nighttime practice be an enjoyable habit, not an anxious plea. And this brings us to perhaps the most important point of all: identity shift. Ultimately, manifestation is not really about getting things. It is about becoming the person who naturally has those things. And this is the deepest level of the overnight technique. You are not just visualizing having more money. You are becoming someone who is abundant. You are not just imagining a relationship. You are becoming someone who is lovable and loved. Become who you wish to be. Every night, as you do this practice, you are rewiring your identity at the deepest level. You are training your subconscious to see yourself differently. And when your self-concept changes, everything in your external world eventually reflects that change. As Carl Jung understood, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This overnight technique is one of the most powerful ways to make the unconscious conscious, to deliberately choose who you are becoming instead of letting old programming run the show. Tonight, you have a choice. You can fall asleep randomly, letting whatever thoughts happen to be there program your subconscious. Or you can take those 5 minutes and intentionally create your future self. 8 hours. That is how much of your life you spend in the sleep state. 1/3 of your entire existence. You can continue to let that time reinforce old patterns, old fears, old versions of yourself, or you can reclaim it. Starting tonight, you have the power to use those hours for deliberate creation. Reclaim your nights. The technique is simple. Feel the wish fulfilled as you drift off. Loop the scene until you sleep. Bridge it when you wake. Protect it during the day. Simple, but not always easy. The hardest part is consistency. The hardest part is believing it matters when you cannot see immediate results. But every master manifester I have studied, from Neville Goddard to modern scientists studying neuroplasticity, agrees on this one thing. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which your subconscious is listening tonight. What will you tell it? If this opened your mind, like and subscribe. See you in the next one.